made you join the Hashkama group in the beginning?
Well, I was one of the founders of the Hashkama group with Garth Allardyce and Jeff Hope, and it all came from a dinner that the rabbi organised for probably around 15 of us. Those in that sort of 45 to 55 age bracket in the Northern community, where he basically posed the question: if I had a service that lasted no more than an hour, started at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Shabbos, once a month, where we did a shachris, we did a little cheer and a talk about a particular topic, and then we could have a whiskey and a kiddush afterwards, would you come? And we all said yes. And so I therefore got the responsibility of rounding everybody up. Garth got the responsibility of telling everybody what page we were on. Jeff got the responsibility of being very good looking in the corner. And we started that off, and it actually really started to grow. And we probably had just over 1 million, and we got up to maybe a high of 20, 23 people on a Shabbos once a month. And I think people really enjoyed it. So that's how it all started.
Okay, and what do you like about it?
Well, first of all, I like the community aspect of it. I think I like to see some of the same people, also some new friends. I like the challenge of actually getting more people to come along. I think the variety that the rabbi uses in his talks once a month are quite compelling. And I think actually it's an hour, and then you can either go into the shul afterwards because there's a hard stop at 10 o'clock, or you can go home. The fact that the rabbi made it clear that you didn't have to put on a suit and tie. He just wanted you to come. Just come along, be comfortable, see your friends, see some new people. Let's have a chat about something topical, have a kiddush and a whiskey. The whiskey, I think, always works at 9:30 in the morning on a Saturday. And then I think what also happened is people went downstairs and joined the main shul service, but also they lingered upstairs after 10 o'clock and were chatting and talking about community type aspects. Then we would have some special speakers. I think there was a talk on mental health, and there's been a variety of other topics that seem to have worked well. So that's why I think it's been a success and enjoyed it.
Brilliant. And is there anything that you'd like to change about it?
I think it's really sad that the shul isn't open as it used to be.
Absolutely.
I think, we are all very sociable people. We like to be together. We like to be close to each other. The sort of unspoken chemistry of people being in the same room is always very good, particularly amongst the community. So it's a great shame that we can't behave in that fashion at the moment. So I think it's a tough question to answer right now, because we're not near to normality. I think for me, it was trying not to run before you can walk. And I know our rabbi, who I think is a wonderful person, has got some great ideas about taking this forward. For me, it's more a question of measured stages rather than let's see if we can get there straight away. So I think we've been good in getting it monthly. It's become a known event in the shul diary. I think it's something that people are intrigued about. I do wonder sometimes we're seen as that other lot that sit upstairs for an hour and then disappear. But I think if you are, unsure about it, come and give it a try. Come upstairs and see what you think. So, in terms of any changes right now, difficult to tell. I think let's wait until we get back to some sense of community normality.
Okay, I think that's a really interesting point about what does it do and what's it for, and the strange people who are upstairs. And I think that's the purpose of having this evening, to explain what it is.
Okay, just to give it a little bit of context, just a little bit of background. So, in terms of me, in 2017, I started to adopt the Judaism side, the religious side of Judaism, much more. So I sort of came from a point of probably what a lot of us come from, which is complete, non-observancy, little understanding, actually not even being able to really read Hebrew that well. So I came from that point, and the point that I'm at now is probably, I daven most days. I learn a couple of times a week with the rabbi. I'm essentially Shomer Shabbat. So that in essence is a lot to do, obviously, with our wonderful rabbi. his guidance and his support and his help and his spirituality has got, has helped me get to that place. So in terms of why I came to, why I joined the Hashkama, is not a lot to do on the religious side, because I have that in abundance, obviously. So it's more about, I think, for me, I guess it's reflecting the passion and how it's helped me with other people that, more like my age, and people that I know, so they can almost, without, if no one asks me, I won't say anything, but not stuffing it down their throats, but almost just reflecting it. So that's why I'm there. That's probably the most important thing for me. That kind of reflecting how it's helped me to other people.
Okay, and
in a sort of subliminal way, if you like, really.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. What do you like about it?
Okay. I quite like the alternative format. Mm-hmm. Keeps the brain cells going. I love to see the rabbi trying to do the davening in half an hour at warp speed. Those of you who know the rabbi know that he can actually do that, but that's always good to see. I like the shir and the kind of the debate afterwards. I think the rabbi's always got some interesting subjects. I think we've had anything from observancy in different time zones to veganism, lots of different, what I would call kind of relevant subjects, different subjects that you might get, sort of in the regular shares. So that's always interesting. I also like, it's good to see, to catch up with people who I might just have seen once a year previously. So now I see them, 12 times a year, 10 times a year, which is good. It all goes towards enriching the community and keeping up with people. What else? I suppose pre-lockdown or pre-COVID, always love an excuse for a glass of whiskey and a Beigel, be it 10 o'clock on a Shabbat morning. It gets the conversation flowing. Always used to enjoy that. Obviously can't enjoy that at the moment, but again, the kiddish were often, we used to sponsor them each week, different people. So that was obviously in a celebration or a simcha or something like that. So again, it was like feeding into that whole thing where you're keeping in touch with people. And, I would come home and say to Andrew, oh, by the way, do you know so-and-so, it's their son got engaged, or, it's just another way of getting people involved. So they're all the things that I sort of like about it.
Well, I'm a regular shul goer anyway, and so turning up half an hour earlier and going to a service that is, I think, only half an hour long, and half an hour of bagels and a glass of whiskey was quite enticing. So I'm swapping what was a 3-hour shul session for something that's 1 hour in total, which includes food and whiskey.
It's not to like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it was about the logistics.
As it happens, I always tend to go to shul in the main service afterwards.
Oh, right.
As well. But there have been 1 or 2 occasions when I haven't. So, yeah. So and of course, I want to support it and want it to be successful, and it most definitely is.
Okay, so what's the bit that you like most about it?
I guess it's very informal. Mm-hmm. It's very quick. There's a good opportunity to see some faces that we don't always normally see, and there's normally quite a lively debate or discussion around 1 or 2 subjects, many of which have been quite contentious and subjects that you probably wouldn't normally discuss in shul. So yeah, it's a bit thought-provoking and interesting.
Brilliant. Is there anything that you would change about it, or that you would like to do differently?
Yeah, I think one of the things I would definitely change is open up the membership, open up, get more people to come. Definitely the wives, there should definitely be the wives. You're laughing. Definitely. I mean, that will bring a completely different dimension, a better dimension, a different dimension.
Well,
but true, definitely. And I think generally to open it up, because, if you think back, to everything that I just said that I get out of it, I'm sure there are other people out there who would like to get that. And, the reality is to be back at home on a Shabbat morning by 10:15, 10:30 is also good as well. There'll be people out there that works for as well. So you can, that's why I think we should open it up a little bit more and get more people interested. And I have to say, ever since the rabbi started it, it's growing. I think we went from getting 10 people to probably, a few times we've got over 20. Brilliant. So it is growing, and, it's good.
And any bits that you would like to change if you could?
I don't think it needs any change whatsoever. I think it's successful.
Brilliant. Okay.
I think actually making changes is trying to improve something that I think is optimal anyway.
Good.
So ultimately, how do you see the future of it? I mean, COVID has kind of changed things slightly, but
yeah,
how would you see the future of it developing?
I see the future developing as an opportunity, probably on two levels. The first level, probably the opportunity would be to attract more, as I've said, attract more people, get them to engage a little bit more, not necessarily don't have to go to the extent that I've gone to, but, just to engage a little bit more and, get the community together a little bit, catch up with each other, have a debate. Do half an hour's worth of davening doesn't just remind you sometimes of what's there. So I think number one in terms of opportunities, attract more people and get things get things going again. An opportunity as well, I think, to help people, because that's the second thing. I think there's a lot of people out there that are in a lot of pain, just like I was, and it's so helpful.
And how can you see it developing then in the future? Could women be part of this?
Well, I think it'd be terrific if women could be a part of it. Absolutely. I think there's no reason why this should be, a gender-specific event. Sometimes I think things that are new have to start somewhere. Yeah. You then have to get a core of people that support it. And once you've got a core of people that support it, so you know that it's not in jeopardy and that it's going to continue, then you can build upon that. And I think already we've had, situations where the rabbi actually made a big fuss over Simchas Torah, over all of the Hashkama group in the main Shabbos service, and called everybody up at the same time, which was very nice. So we weren't that weird lot that are upstairs. When the renovations were going on in the shul, I actually held the service in my house. And we had about 15, 16 people come over. The rabbi thought it was a shorter walk than it actually was, but it was great. We came over and we did it. My house rearranged the furniture. I tried to make sure we were all facing the right way, and it's a learning curve for everybody as well. So already we've been a little bit different in the way we've done things. And I think, with our community the way it is, I think that slowly, gradually enfranchise people carefully in an environment that they like and enjoy is a good thing. And why not? There's no monopoly on wisdom here. And I think if we can change it, make it more inclusive, all the better.
Absolutely.
Delighted.
And I think it's an interesting point, actually, about it being this very strange period of time where all the rule book's been ripped up, and actually maybe there is an opportunity for Hashkama to fit in within that, and maybe, having services not in the shul because we can't, but maybe outdoors for larger numbers of people in various areas would work. So actually, I think maybe that does fit with what we're faced with.
Well, look, I think we are in a strange situation where the the perception is that somebody that you don't know or aren't close to is riddled with disease. So therefore you have to take these huge steps to try and ensure overwhelming levels of safety for people when they come together and congregate. So, you know, I could probably argue quite comfortably that a small group, i.e. Hashkama group that know each other, could congregate still. And there's probably a case that could be done socially distanced in somebody's garden or somebody's lounge or somebody's whatever. It's not a shul, but actually getting together, or does it have to be a Shabbos? Maybe you can do it on another day because that's what works. So I think, as you say, Jane, the rule book has been ripped up and there is no normal, and the chances of returning to exactly what was the old normal, I think, are quite low. So therefore, let's think differently.
Okay. So the bit that works is it's bite size. It doesn't try to do anything other than it says, which is a short service at a prescribed regular interval, and maybe veering out of a sort of traditional service with a bit of discussion that maybe you wouldn't get under normal circumstances, and the whiskey. Is that a good summation of it?
I think so. And it's very informal, and you know, people turn up in jeans and a t-shirt or in a suit, whatever they want. It feels like there's no rules, which is good.
Okay.